Good afternoon, Monroe families. Over the last few weeks, you've heard me refer to the pilot program that Monroe Local Schools has been selected to participate in. This pilot program provides families with another option to keep their children in schools during a quarantine period after being a direct contact. Keeping kids safe and in school 5 days a week has always been our priority, but with the current guidelines for quarantine, this has been a constant struggle, and this program is definitely a step in the right direction. I'm going to share with you details, but first I want to stress that this is just another option. There is absolutely no requirement to participate in this pilot, and if your son or daughter is a close contact and as a family you decide to follow the current quarantine guidelines, that is 100% your choice. Any student who is identified as a direct contact has the option to participate in the quarantine alternative pilot program. Families that opt into the pilot program will have to adhere to the following requirements to allow their child to attend school. During the normal quarantine period, if you are a direct contact and you test positive or become symptomatic, you have to stay home and follow the isolation protocols for at least 10 days. Students who opt into the pilot program and remain in school must wear a mask indoors for at least 7 days after the last exposure. The mask has to be a multi-layer surgical mask that fits snugly over the nose and mouth, like this one. We have been given a large supply of these masks, and we will be happy to give them out to anyone that needs them. Next, again to remain in school during this time period, the student will need to go through a testing protocol twice during this 7-day period. The first test will be given immediately after identification that the student is a direct contact. The second test will be conducted between days 5 and 7 after the last day of exposure. Both tests must be negative for the students to remain in school. Families can use a couple of options for these two tests. First, we have plenty of take-home tests that we will provide to families. These tests have a telehealth component that must be used to make the test valid. Second, the district has been provided with a nurse who will be able to administer the COVID-19 test here at school. Families can choose either options, but to stay in school, they must go through this testing protocol. During lunch, since there's not an option to keep the mask on, we will provide a separate location for students to eat where 6 feet distancing can be maintained. Throughout this period, there are requirements that must be followed or the student will not be allowed to stay in school and will have to quarantine for the remainder of the time period. If the student tests positive, becomes symptomatic, or does not wear a mask, they are no longer eligible to stay in school. During this time period, students will not be allowed to participate in extracurricular activities, and when the student is not in school, they are to quarantine at home. Now that is a lot of information that I went through, but I want to share that all of this information can be found on our website at monroelocalschools.com. There is an icon in the Find It Fast section of the homepage that will take you directly to all of the pilot program information. Also, there is a parent consent form found there that must be completed to participate in the program. As I shared at the beginning of this video, this is just another option for parents. Participation is completely optional, and it is a choice for each family. We are going to roll out this pilot in phases to make sure we have all the processes down and this program is successful. Here is the timeline. Tuesday, September 28th will be the first day of the program, and we will just start it at grades 7 through 12. During this first week, as a district, we will keep the mask requirement for all students. Starting Monday, October 4th, we will open it up to all grade levels, and we will remove the mask requirement for grades 7-12, but keep the mask requirement for grades K through 6. Monday, October 11th, we will continue the program for all grade levels and remove the mask requirements, but keep it as a strong recommendation. I know that there will be many of you that ask, is this program safe? Although a group of educators proposed changes to the quarantine guidelines, they were developed and approved by the Ohio Department of Health and their team of medical experts. So my answer to this question is yes, this has been approved by all these medical experts to be a safe alternative. The last thing that I want to share with all of you is that the pilot program is not perfect, and there are a lot of components to this program. Some families may not want to hassle with all of this, and students that are involved in extracurricular activities will still be excluded. Still, the best way for students to stay in school and be able to participate in all of their activities is to wear a mask. I am very proud of the way our students have handled the mask requirement, and our quarantine numbers are so much better. When the district moved to the mask requirement, we had well over 200 students at home in quarantine. As of this minute, as I am recording this video, although it is not the end of the week, we have only had to send 15 students home for quarantine. Whatever your opinion is on masks, it is pretty obvious that until we get through this period of high numbers of cases, the best way to be in school is to wear your mask. I thank you for your time again, and visit our website for more information about this program that will be starting next week. Thank you, and go Hornets!